If starting a newsletter is one of the goals you have for 2026 for your business, but maybe you're only small, maybe you only have a small list, you're only just getting started, and you want a way to create gorgeous emails without having to spend much money or any money at all. Now, recently Canva announced Canva Email, which allows you to design beautiful emails within Canva. So in this video, I want to show you how you can do that and then how to utilize tools for free to be able to send those emails. I'm going to show you a few different options so you can decide what is going to work best for you and works best for your kind of flow and your situation. All right, so let's design our form to start collecting emails. So what you're going to do is go to create and you want to choose a website. So we need to create this on a website. That way we can share it with anyone. So we can just grab a plain website. You can add some design to it. Now we want to put our form on the page. So we're going to go over to Elements and you're going to find this new one, Forms. Now you want to choose this one, subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to place it over here on our page and now we can customize it. So up the top here you can see you can choose the background color, we can choose the button color, and we can choose the border color. Now keep in mind with the button that this text is all the same color, and so you need to make sure that you choose a button color that's going to contrast from the color you choose for your text. So let's go over to text and let's keep it a dark color like now, and as you can see we can easily read that button, so that's great. All right, now also we can change the font. So let's choose a new font. All right, so we've got our base here. Now we want to make a few little adjustments. We want to add our own voice to it. So you're going to come over here to edit, and here we can add in our details. So we've got up the top here, enter your email. So I'm pretty happy with that. You can also add in short answer, long answer, multiple choice, checkboxes, email, number, poll, mood meter, linear scale, star rating. There are so many different extra options there depending on what you're trying to create. But if we're trying to keep it simple, we might just want to add a section for their name. So we can put in here short answer, first name. Then for things like this, we want them to be required because we want to make sure someone gives us their name and their email. So we want to choose required. So the 3 dots, required. We also want to move this one up. So we've got first name first, then email. That makes more sense. Then we go to settings, and this is where we can change the rest of the text. And you can also decide if you want to keep that header or not. So if you didn't want to keep that header, you can turn that off. So what do you need to do now? Well, now you want to first preview it. So we want to make sure it looks okay, and also check it on mobile, because if you want to share this, on Instagram or something like that to get signups, you want to make sure this looks okay. So double check that before you publish it, especially with a website. Sometimes things can go wonky if you've added a lot of fun stuff to it. You want to double check that. Now with the graphics, you can also add stuff over the top. So let's say we wanted like some tape so it looks like it's taped on. We can actually do that. So we can actually grab some tape. Now initially it's going to look like it was going to go under, but if we right click, layer, bring to front, it actually puts it on top. So you can definitely, with Canva, get super creative and make something look really beautiful and fun. And that's why this can be a great option. If you don't just want to use a form that's within your email service provider, you want to have a lot more fun with it, create something really beautiful. Creating your form in Canva can really give you that freedom to create something really cool. Now, once you've done that, you want to share it just like you would a website. So you'd go to publish website, go through all the things, choosing a site address if you want. Don't worry if you just don't mind what the address is, and publish. And then it's going to give you a link, and that's the link that you want to share with people to get them to sign up. So this can be great if you're just getting started with a newsletter. Maybe you've already got an audience somewhere else and you've got this link now. You can say, hey, come and join my newsletter. And you might even want to add some sort of incentive, like say, hey, I'm about to start a newsletter, come and join. And in the first newsletter, I'm going to give you something free, or, some sort of incentive could be a great way to get this list going. So this is a great way to start a newsletter off with a really good start. Get people excited, share something fun, make it really fun, and it be free for you to do. It doesn't have to cost you. You don't have to set up all these crazy automations or anything, all this crazy stuff. We can do this quite simply and quickly and completely for free. All right, so you've given it a certain amount of time, you started to collect emails, and now you're ready to send out that first newsletter. So how do we get all those emails and put them into our provider? So we're going to click Edit Design here, and then click on Responses. And this is where you're going to see the people that have been added to your list. So what you're going to do is click Link to Sheet, and it's going to give you a sheet with all the data, with all the emails you collected. You're then going to click Share, Download, and make sure you download it as a CSV. We're then going to be able to take that CSV into our email provider. All right, so now we've got our form set up, we've collected emails, we're now going to set up our software. So we're going to use MailChimp because it is going to make it very seamless because they have an integration, making it super easy to get that email in. I tested out some other software, some of them it broke, some of it required you to get in the code and make all these edits, which is getting very complicated. And other ones you had to actually pay to be able to put in HTML. This is going to be the easiest one where you can start something off for free. So what we're going to do once we've set up our account, so this is an old account I used to use back when I used MailChimp years ago. So I'm not paying for this right now. It is a free account. So we're going to, over in integrations here, make sure that you've set up Canva's integration. Now I have done this in the past, obviously, because it's already set up. But if you just search here Canva, you will see the Canva one, and then you can connect and follow through what it says to do to make sure that it is connected with Canva. Now to bring in our emails that we collected, we're going to go over to Audience, Add Contacts, Import Contacts. You're going to go to Upload a File, Continue, and you're going to import that CSV file. And if you want, you can add tags. If not, don't worry about all that. The main thing we want to do here is make sure we connect everything. So you want to make sure name is connected to name, email connected to email here. Make sure they're set to subscribed and finalize import. And that'll now bring all your emails in. So let's design our beautiful newsletter. So you're going to come over to Create, Emails. Now there are lots of beautiful templates. So if you just want to start with a template, tweak it and make it your own, totally go for it. So there are plenty of beautiful ones here to get you started. And that is a great way to start. And you can always, tweak it and, change it to your own. Or you can start from scratch and create a blank email. So that's totally up to you if you want to just start from scratch and really make your own thing, or if you like that support of starting out with a template and just really customizing it to your own. So we're going to go and grab a template because I want to show you how you can really customize it to the point where you can completely change it to what you want. So it can just become almost a support thing of not having that fear of, oh, I've got a blank page and, where do I even start? So what we're going to do here is if you click on the actual page itself, you can see we can choose the background color. So we can change up that color if we'd like. Now we've got some text here, so we can change that if we wanted to. You've got a divider and we've got our text here. And as you can see, you've got H1 and H2. So H2 is going to make your titles smaller, so they're more for subtitles. And then we've got H1 is for the big titles. So if you're adding extra titles in, you can just press H1 or H2 to get the size right. And then you can make adjustments. Now, if there's anything you don't want, like let's say we didn't want to use that particular picture, we can just delete it. Or another thing you can do is you can double click. Now, if you wanted to put a completely different image here, you can just, click on it, press delete, or you can click these three dots and you can go edit as design. So what this does is basically each section it can open up a whole new Canva document like this, and you can actually edit that particular area of your newsletter. So you basically can create a design that then goes into your newsletter, which is really cool because it means if you start getting super creative and adding lots of elements on a page, you want to make something a bit more designed, you can actually either add these kind of sections or you can edit existing ones and basically make a design within that newsletter. So you're not having to then create it. So you're not having to create a design, download it as a JPEG or PNG, then re-upload it with uploads and then put it in. So this really speeds that up. So it's a lot easier to, create little designs, create some pretty graphics that's then going to go into your design. So let's say that we created this design now. Now you have to just press save. And there we go, it has brought it in. So if you want to add one of these sort of things, if you want to add a section where you can design anything, you just want to click this plus and click this one at design. And that's then going to open up that section where you can create any kind of design you like. As you can see, that's nice, that size, ready to go. You can also make it bigger if you want, so you can drag, make it whatever size you want your design to be. Once you finish it, press save, and it's going to bring that into your email. That makes it really easy to design any kind of beautiful element you want for your newsletter. Now you can also resize things, so you can drag to resize. You can also just right click and then press expand to full width if you want it to take up that full width size. Now, of course, we can keep going through and editing different parts, or you can just start deleting all these bits and just create your own. You may have just wanted that just to sort of get started, to get a feel for it, make it feel a little bit easier. And now we're just going to, delete whole sections. So you just want to click on sections and delete. All right, so let's have a look at what you can add. So if we click this plus button here, we add, as I said before, design. We can also add in headers, subheaders, and body, so you can instantly add some text areas. You can add tables and you can add sheets. You can also add divider lines, page breaks. You can add checklists, so you can have little checkboxes like this, which is very cute. You can also add bulleted lists, you can also add numbered lists, and then we have columns. So this is great for dividing up your content. So you can put in a column, and then as you can see here, we've got each of these columns to add elements. So we can add in photos. So you could put a photo in one element here. So you could put a photo in one column, you could add text in the other columns. You can also resize these columns, so you can just drag them around to make them the size you want. So it gives you lots of freedom to create really beautiful layouts, but the freedom to do it however you want. And you can see too, once we click on one of these things, we've also got the option here to put colors in them. So if you wanted to color different sections, or you could select the whole thing and just give that whole section a particular color. We can also pull those little big purple lines there. And as you can see, we can make it full width. So it really gives you plenty of freedom there, as you can see, to create the design to make it look just how you want. Now you can also see here we've got column spacing, all those things. So you really want to play around and create the design you want. Now continuing down, we also have highlight blocks. So we've got things like info notes and little fun things like that, these little blocks like this. We've also got things like quote sections, mentions, dates. So let's put in the date here. So go back down. And there we've got a little date thing, which is quite cute. If you wanted to add in the date for your newsletter, you can easily do that. Now also, other than pressing this little plus, if you go over into elements here, you've also got elements over here. So we've got headers. So if we want to use a different kind of header, especially if you're starting from scratch, if you wanted to create your own header, you can do that. So we can add this one, for example, and then we could just drag and drop in our image, things like that. You've also got here footers, buttons, and icon blocks. You can also have the columns that we saw in the plus and the highlight blocks. So those two that we saw earlier are over here as well. Now with the footer, when we come down to the footer, you've got various styles of footers here that you can place in. You've also got here icon blocks, so we can add in different icon blocks, so we can drag this in. And as you can see, that's fully editable. You can change the icons, you can change the text and colors, all those things. So if you want to add any types of icons, that's all in there. And then we have buttons, so we can go over to buttons here. You can add in a button. And as you can see, you just want to put in your link, and then we've got a clickable button. And of course, you can edit it and make it your own, make it whatever style you'd like. Now also, just like a website, if you want to add any other links, if you want any of your text to be a link, you just want to highlight it, click the three dots and link, and then you can add a link in. All right, so once we've got our design and we're happy with it, you then want to send a test email. So send it to yourself, double check that it does look the way you want it to look, all those sort of things. Right, now back to Canva, let's send this email. So we're going to go to Share, MailChimp, Download, then we're going to go Continue to MailChimp. You're going to click Add File. Now it downloaded the file, so you're going to go and grab that file that it just downloaded and continue. And here is our email. It is in. Very cool. It has added the MailChimp thing that is required with the free one. So you can, if you want to, change that to a white version. So if you just go to Edit Design, then Settings, Change, and you can choose the white one instead if you want. Now, make sure you fill all the details in, the to, the from, the subject, all that sort of thing. Send a test email to make sure it looks good, and then press send. And you have sent out your first newsletter for free and created something that looks really beautiful. So enjoy creating a beautiful newsletter. If you have any questions about this process, leave a comment down below, and happy creating.